Shamka, Yahweh, Malakwethka, Taba'a, Ratzaka, Haya, Aisha, Ba'arataza, Ka, Bashamayim, Latanlanawa, Lakam, Kal, Yawam, Wasalak Nawa, Kawabat Nawa, Kasalak Nawa, Kawabat Nawa, Wala'a, Tabaya Nawa, Banasaya 1, Abal, Hawashai Nawa, Manrai, Kaya, Laka, Hamalakwa, Waha'ala, Wahatapa Arath, La'awalam, Ba'asham, Amashiach, Yahushai, the water, Aman.
Matthew 6 and 9. After this manner, therefore pray ye, Our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, in earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us of our debts, as we forgive our debtors. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, the power, and the glory, forever. Amen. For if ye forgive men of their trespasses, your heavenly Father will also forgive you. But if ye forgive not men their trespasses, neither will your Father forgive your trespasses. By Hashem, Amashiach Yahawashai, the water from Yad, Amen.
Shabi, be seated. Shabbat Shalom Yasharala. Ba'ashom Mashikawashai. All praise to the Most High, the power of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Ba'ashom Mashikawashai. For another Shabbat day, where Israel, 12 tribes of Israel can come together in the holy convocation as per the commandments, laws, statutes, and commandments of the Most High. Well, we should do that throughout our generations, throughout our locations. We are the Light of Zion, located down here in South Florida, 2937 West Broward Boulevard. I am Elder Lapalal. To my left is
Officer Aliyah.
Gan. Today's topic, we are all praise to the Most High. We just came off celebrating the Hanukkah, Feast of Hanukkah, and the new moon for the past couple of weeks or so. In light of the fake holidays that was going on around us, Israel was able to stay focused as per the commandments of the Most High and celebrate what we know is righteous, which is our feast days. Hanukkah, which was also the Mashiach Yahushua himself, who died for Israel, also celebrated. And today, we're going to continue in the book of Ruth. We just came off the book of the Judges. The Judges, which was a period in which Israel was in our homeland, coming out of the wilderness where we were for 40 years. We were on our homeland without any kings for close to 400 years. Okay. Now we're going to go into the book of Ruth. Yeah, let's start up with Colossians 3, verse 17.
This is the book of Colossians, chapter 3, and verse 17. And whatsoever ye do in word or deed, do all in the name of Mashiach Yahushai, giving thanks to God and the Father by him.
Right. Whatever you do in word or deed, you know what? Whatever you say, whatever you actually actions you actually perform, make sure they're in accordance with the Most High's laws, statutes, and commandments. Giving thanks always to the power of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob in the name of the Mashiach Yahushai. Okay? Okay, we're going to continue. We're going to start rather in the book of Ruth, chapter 1, verse 1.
Ruth, chapter 1, verse 1. Now it came to pass in the days when the judges ruled, and there was a famine in the land.
Right, and it came to pass in the days when the judges ruled. So it's giving us an era of time when these activities took place. It's when the judges ruled. This is before Saul, before David, before Solomon, and before the kingdom was divided in two. Okay, this is when immediately after we came out of Egypt, after we came out of the wilderness and went into the homeland, where the Moses set up judges and elders to rule over the nations. Read. There was a famine in the land. Read on.
And a certain man of Bethlehem, Judah, went to sojourn in the country of Moab. He and his wife and his 2 sons.
Wait about that. Manatazak. Can't. Now let's focus on a map right there, so we can get a geographical and perspective of of what was going on. And a certain man of Bethlehem, Judah. Let's zoom down also where Moab. Just show Moab. Okay. Don't make it too large. Okay. Can you focus the camera? Yeah. So Judah. So right, that's Judah right there. Give me I need a pointing stick. If I had okay, let me. In the map right there, it's Judah. Give me a pointing stick so I can nothing too long. Just yeah, that's good. Yeah, you go. That's good. It's Judah right there. That's where Judah, the tribe of Judah, dwelled right there. Okay, Simeon is right there, and above that we have other tribes, and over here we have this is the Dead Sea right here, and over here we have Moab, which of course was another nation, and above that we have Benjamin, Reuben, also. He says, and a certain man of Bethlehem, Judah, went to sojourn in the country of Moab, he and his wife and his 2 sons. So he's going to give an account of a certain man, a certain Judahite, who and his wife, because of the famine, there was a famine in land of Israel. So, that's not anything unusual, because whenever there's a famine in our homeland, we always look towards the other lands round about us where things were plentiful. And we would either send to buy food from them. You can zoom back. Send to buy food from them, or some of us would actually sojourn there for a while until things are better in our homeland. And that was the case with a certain man of Bethlehem, Judah. He and his wife and his 2 sons went down there into the country of Moab, which we just saw. Understand? Which is not too far, as you can see, it's just across the Dead Sea. Okay. Read on.
Verse 2. And the name of the man was Elimelech.
Yeah, the name of the man is Judah's brother was Elimelech. And read on.
And the name of his wife, Naomi.
Mm-hmm.
And the name of his 2 sons, Mahlon and Shalion, Ephraimites.
No, Ephrathites.
Ephrathites, Salakia,
Mm-hmm.
of the Bethlehem, Judah.
Right. So there were Ephrathites. So there were certain parts of Judah got Ephrathites, where Judah may be the main city, but it was divided into smaller cities with Ephrathites, and they were from this particular part of the dwelling of Judah called where Ephrathites dwelled. Okay, read on.
And they came into the country of Moab, and continued there.
And they came into the country of Moab and continued there. So the country of Moab, you can see, find it again out to show the geography, because it's important so we can put things in a geographical perspective to better understand it. Is it showing? Right. So this is Judah, right? So Judah right there. So we can see that Moab, land of country of Moab, is not too far away. It's not like way over yonder. It's right across, because we don't even know what part of Judah they were. Was Ephrathites dwelt. So this is Simeon in the middle of Judah, the green spot, and around Simeon was all Judah. So these Ephrathites, a lot of Judahites, I guess, moved from sojourn rather. Sojourning meaning is a temporary relocation. Sojourning meaning you dwelt in a certain place temporarily. I mean, you're not from there originally, and you don't intend to live there permanently. You just went there for a certain period of time, and that's what happened. That's what these Judahites did. They went to Moab, the country of Moab, temporarily. They sojourned there, and because of the famine that was in the land of Israel, and food was plenteous in the land of Moab, in the country of Moab. Read on.
Verse 3. And Elimelech, Naomi's husband, died, and she was left, and her 2 sons.
Right. So the husband, Elimelech, he died. So Naomi, the widow, was left with her 2 sons. Read.
And they took them wives of the women of Moab.
And they took the wives of the women of Moab. They took the wives of the women of Moab, the country, the Moabites. Understand? They took the wives. These Naomi's 2 sons, they got wives of the Moabites. Read.
The name of the one was Orpah, and the name of the other was Ruth. And they dwelled there about 10 years.
Right, and they sojourned there for about 10 years. That's how long that's how long the famine lasted. Read on.
And Mahlon and Shalamah died also, both of them. And the woman was left of her 2 sons and her husband.
Wow.
Then she arose.
The 2 sons also died, man. That's unfortunate. I mean, the husband died. I know the 2 sons died. I don't know what was the reason why they died so young, but that's besides the point. And now the woman was left of her 2 sons and her husband. Read on.
Then she arose with her daughters-in-law, that she might return from the country of Moab, for she had heard in the country of Moab how that the Lord had visited his people in giving them bread.
And then she and Naomi arose with her daughters-in-law. Her daughters-in-law was Orpah and Ruth, that she might return from the country of Moab. For she had heard in the country of Moab how that the Most High had visited his people and given them bread. So this is, you're kind of making a distinction right there between Moab and the Israelites. The Most High visited his people, which were the Israelites, the Judahites, in giving them bread, because previously, for the past 10 years, there was a famine going on. There was a famine in the land of Israel, which is why the Judahites and other Israelites might have went to different places around about them to survive, to get food, because in the other regions there might have been plenty of food, because there was no drought or famine in those countries. Read on.
Verse 7. Mm-hmm. Wherefore she went forth out of the place where she was, and her 2 daughters-in-law with her, and they went on the way to return unto the land of Judah.
Right. So she went forth out of the place where she was, and her 2 daughters-in-law with her, and they went on the way to return unto the land of Judah. So you see, she returned from Moab, land of Moab, back to Judah because she heard, hey, the famine was now over, so there was plenty of food now in Israel and in Judah. So she returned back to Jerusalem, to Judah. Read on. Her and her two daughters-in-law. That's what they're about to do. Read on.
Verse 8. And Naomi said unto her two daughters-in-law, Go, return each to her mother's house. The Lord deal kindly with you, as ye have dwelt with the dead and with me. The Lord grant you that ye may find rest, each of you, in the house of her husband. Then she kissed them, and they lifted up their voice and wept.
Right. So now Naomi was about to depart from it. Now Naomi's husband died, and Naomi's two daughters, or Naomi's two sons also died. So all that was left was three widows, Naomi and her two daughters-in-law. But Naomi was now about to return to Judah because she heard that there was food in Judah now. So she kissed her daughters-in-law and told them to return back to the back to their mother's house, and hopefully they'll find new husbands. And you know that is when people love each other, will live with each other for a while and love each other when they're about to depart, especially permanently. You know when you're migrating from one country to another, so people start weeping, and you know what I mean, because they know how much they're gonna miss you, how much they love you, and all that. That's what was happening right here. You can just picture that. Read on.
God. Verse 10.
Mm-hmm.
And they said unto her, Surely we will return with thee unto thy people.
And they said, Surely we will return unto thee with thy people. So we have to be this like what's coming in today. I mean, this is a big it's for years it's been like a debate, or a dispute as to the nationality of Ruth. Is she an Israelite? Is she a Moabite? And all that. So there are certain key words and key phrases and certain things we need to pay attention to in these chapters to give us an idea as to her true nationality. Like this one right here, and the daughters said unto her in verse 10, and they said unto her, the daughters said unto her, Naomi, Surely we will return with thee unto thy people. Understand? So it's like right there, the two daughters-in-law, Orpah and Ruth, were telling Naomi, we're going to return it to you unto your people. He didn't say your tribe or to your land, but your people. So it's like they're telling right there that's that distinction between the two nationalities. Unto your people. Understand? Read on.
Verse 11. And Naomi said, Turn again, my daughters. Why will ye go with me? Are there yet any more sons in my womb, that ye may be your husbands? Turn again, my daughters, go your way, for I am too old to have an husband. If I should say I have hope, if I should have an husband also tonight, and should bear sons, would ye tarry for them till they were grown? Would ye stay for them from having husbands? Nay, my daughters, for it giveth me much.
It grieveth me. Read it again.
For it grieveth, Slakia, for it grieveth me much for your sakes, that ye hand of the Lord is gone out against me.
Right. So Naomi was discouraging them from trying to follow her. She said, no, don't try to follow me. I'm too old to have a husband. And even if I had a husband and I had sons, how long would it wait for my sons to grow up for them to be your husbands? So, I mean, it's hard for me right now that we have come to this, you know what I mean? But it does sound wise for you to want to follow me. Just stay right here in your land and pray the Most High that, hey, He provide you with husbands. so you can be happy in your new home with your new husbands. Read on.
Verse 14. And they lifted up their voice and wept again. And Orpah kissed her mother-in-law, but Ruth clave unto her.
Right. So and they cried again because of her mother Ruth was Naomi was really good to them. And you know what I mean? There was a real family. And Orpah, they started crying again, and Orpah kissed her again, and then she went back to her people. But Ruth kept cleaving on to Naomi. She didn't want to leave Naomi. Read on.
Verse 15. And she said, Behold, thy sister-in-law is gone back unto her people and unto her gods. Return thou after thy sister-in-law.
Right. And she said, Behold, thy sister-in-law is gone back unto her peoples. So that's key, right? Her people, not even her tribe. Because we know we have tribe, her people. The word that tell you right there a distinction between the nations. Two different people, the Israelites and the Moabites. So Orpah went back to her people, which were the Moabites. And she said, Behold, thy sister-in-law, which is Orpah, is gone back unto her people and unto her gods. Because what? We know the gods, the nation went about us. Who did they worship? Did they worship the Most High? The nation went about Israel. Did they worship the Most High, or did they have their own idols? They had their own idols. Understand? All the nations they learned about monotheism, which was the worship of one God, from the nation of Israel. Prior to them learning from the Israelites, they had a variety of different gods for a variety of different purposes, which were all idols. Understand? So now they all went back to serving their own gods. Orpah went back to serving their own gods, which were idols. Read on.
Verse 16. And Ruth said, the book of Ruth,
finish
15. Ruth, chapter 1 and verse 15.
Mm-hmm.
And she said, Behold, thy sister-in-law is gone back unto her people and unto her gods. Return thou after thy sister-in-law.
Right. So Naomi said, do the same thing as your sister. Go back to your people. Go back to worshiping your idols, your gods. Understand? Don't try to follow me, because you're probably not going to fit in. You're probably not going to fit in, in the land of Israel where I'm going back. Read on.
And Ruth said, Entreat me not to leave thee, or to return from following after thee. For whither thou goest, I will go, and wherefore thou lodgest, I will lodge. Thy people shall be my people, and thy God, my God.
Right. So, but Ruth was not Ruth was having it. He said, Entreat me, not to leave thee. Don't encourage me to leave you, or to return from following after you. For where you go, I will go. Where you live, I will live. Your people shall be my people, and your power shall be my power. I'm going to worship your God. I'm going to worship your God. So she was steadfast. She was determined to stay with Ruth. With Naomi. Ruth was determined to stay with Naomi. Read on.
Verse 17. Where thou diest, I will die, and there will I be buried. The Lord do so to me, and more also, if aught but death part thee and me. When she saw that she was steadfastly minded to go with her, then she left speaking unto her. So they two went until they came to Bethlehem.
Right. So Ruth was determined to go with Naomi. So Naomi said, "Okay, come along with me." So they went back to Jerusalem, to Bethlehem, right, which is in Judah.
And it came to pass.
So you can see right there they were talking about a different country. They left from Moab. the land of Moab where they were, and they went back to Bethlehem, Judea, the land of Judah, where obviously where Judah dwelt. Read on.
So they too went until they came unto Bethlehem. And it came to pass, when they were come to Bethlehem, that all the city was moved about them. And they said, Is this Naomi?
Right. So they were glad to see Naomi because she'd been gone for 10 years. Naomi's been gone for 10 years. So, you know what I mean? A lot of excitement was going on now. They were so happy to see her return. You know when people, if you live in the islands or wherever, or from down south, wherever, you've been gone away for a long time. When they go back to visit family or whatever, they're so happy to see you. They make a fuss. Come on, let's have a, I mean, when they cook your meal and all that, and hang out and all that, and reunite and catch up in old times. That's the excitement that was going on when Naomi returned to Bethlehem. Read on.
I went out full, and the Lord hath brought me home again empty. Oh, verse 20. Slakia. And she said unto them, Call me not Naomi, call me Marah, for the Almighty hath dealt very bitterly with me.
Right. So Naomi was acknowledging what that travailed her during that 10 years. Oh, times were hard with her. Don't call me Naomi anymore. Call me Marah, because the Most High dealt very bitterly with me. Read on.
Verse 21. I went out full, and the Lord hath brought me home again empty. Why then call me Naomi, seeing the Lord hath testified against me, and the Almighty hath afflicted me? So Naomi returned, and Ruth the Moabitess, her daughter-in-law, with her, which returned out of the country of Moab, and they came to Bethlehem in the beginning of barley harvest.
Right. Panada, show the map again up there. Right. So verse 21 says, So Naomi returned from where? From Moab. So Naomi returned, and Ruth the Moabitess. Who's the Moabitess? The Moabites who live in the land of Moab. That's who she, a Moabitess. Her daughter-in-law with her, which returned out of the country of Moab. The country of Moab. I know a lot of people make a distinction between the country and the city, but the country of Moab, you can see just by the geographical location and the proximity of the regions one to another. Judah right next to Moab. Thus Moab just east of Judah across the Dead Sea. Or they could have even sojourn even further south to avoid the Dead Sea. Probably go over a river or something, but the sojourner was it was really easy. They were in close proximity to each other. So they returned from Moab back to Judah, back to Bethlehem. Read on. And and that was the beginning of a barley harvest, because just like Naomi had heard that there was a lot of food now in Bethlehem, because the Most High was starting to bless Israel again. Read on.
Chapter 2. And Naomi had a kinsman of her husband's, a mighty man of wealth of the family of Elimelech's, and his name was Boaz.
Right. So Naomi had a kinsman of her husband's. So a relative. This was a relative of her husband's. Okay. So they were family, basically family-in-law. Okay. This was her husband Elimelech's family. Okay. He was like an in-law to Naomi. Read on. And his name was Boaz. Read on.
And Ruth the Moabitess said unto Naomi, Let me now go to the field and glean ears of corn after him in whose sight I shall find grace. And she said unto her, Go, my daughter.
Right. And so Ruth now, she I guess she's trying to get acquainted with Boaz. And Ruth the Moabitess said unto Naomi, Let me now go to the field and glean ears of corn after him in whose sight I shall find. You know, she's trying to find a husband. Trying to find a husband. She just lost her, her husband. She's not trying to find a husband. She was, she's trying to like, play up to Boaz, see if something can work out. Read on.
And she went and came and gleaned in the field after the reapers, and her hap was too light on a part of the field belonging unto Boaz, who was the kindred of Elimelech.
Elimelech. All right. So she went and came and gleaned in the field after the reapers, and her hap was on her hap. Her intention was to light on a part of the field belonging unto Boaz. So she wanted to be in close proximity. She wanted to be around Boaz. So she, so she got he can she didn't make herself available to Boaz because she's trying to make a play for the brother. That's what it was. Because trying to find a husband. Read on.
Verse 4. And behold, Boaz came from Bethlehem and said unto the reapers, the Lord be with you. And they answered him, the Lord bless thee.
Right. So basically, Boaz came and they saluted each other. They saluted each other. That's what it was. It's a salute right there. And they answered and said, the Lord bless thee. That's a salute right there. Read on.
Then said Boaz unto his servant that was set over the reapers, who damsel is this?
So Boaz saw this new damsel who hadn't seen before, Ruth. And it was just chick. We just new chick in my field. Read on.
And the servant that was set over the reapers answered and said, it is the Moabitish damsel that came back with Naomi out of the country of Moab.
Right. So far we can see that the country of Moab it's not part of Israel. And we can see that from the map that it's another location where the Moabites dwelt, just across the Dead Sea, the southeast of the land of Judah, where the Moabites dwelt. Okay, so this damsel Ruth was a Moabite woman from the land of Moab who came back to Bethlehem with Ruth, her mother-in-law. Read on.
Verse 7. And she said, I pray you, let me glean and gather after the reapers among the sheaves. So she came and hath continued even from the morning until now, that she tarried a little in the house.
Right. So Ruth asked to work alongside the farmers and reap the harvest, the barley harvest, from morning until evening. Read on.
Then said Boaz unto Ruth, harvest thou not, my daughter, go not to glean in another field, neither go from hence, but abide here fast by my maidens.
Right. So Boaz said, I don't want you to work in the field, but I want you to be around. I don't want you to go anywhere either. I just want you to stay right here, with the other maidens, with the other women that works for me. Read on.
Let thine eyes be on the field that they do reap, and go thou after them. Have I not charged the young men that they should not touch thee?
Yeah. So right, you can see that Boaz, Boaz is feeling her too. You know what I mean? So far, it appears that she had found favor in Boaz's eyes, because he told the men, don't touch her. Why did they tell her that? Because he got his eyes on her. So quite possibly he was trying to make a play for her too. Read on.
Verse 9. Let thine eyes be on the field that they do reap, and go thou after them. Have I not charged the young men that they should not touch thee? And when thou art athirst, go unto the vessels and drink of that which the young men have drawn.
Right. And when you're feeling thirsty, there's water over there. Just go and get yourself some water to drink that the young men have drawn. Read on.
Verse 10. Then she fell on her face and bowed herself to the ground and said unto him, Why have I found grace in thine eyes, that thou shouldest take knowledge of me, seeing I am a stranger?
Right. Then she fell on her face. She bowed down to Boaz to the ground and said, Why have I found grace in thine eyes, that thou shouldest take knowledge of me, seeing I am a what? A stranger. She didn't say a fellow Israelite, but a stranger. Why do I find favor in your eyes, seeing that I'm a stranger? What does a stranger mean? A stranger is someone of another nation. She did not say a fellow Israelite. If she was a fellow Israelite, she wouldn't have referred to herself as a stranger, and she wouldn't have found it odd or unusual that someone of another tribe would be interested in her. But she found it unusual that Boaz, a Judite, an Israelite, would be so interested in her or found grace in her eyes, knowing that she's of another nation. Read.
And Boaz answered and said unto her, It hath fully been shewed me all that thou hast done unto thy mother-in-law since the death of thine husband, and how thou hast left thy father and thy mother, and the land of thy nativity, and art come unto a people which thou knewest not heretofore.
Right. So Boaz answered her as to why he found grace in her sight, as why he was impressed with her. He told her that, hey, it has been brought to my attention how you were so generous and kind to your mother-in-law, Naomi, and how you left your father and your mother, and I came from your land of your nativity. Your land of your nativity, that's a different. There's so many clues here to let you know that she was of another nationality, not another tribe, but another nationality. The land of your nativity, you're a native of this particular land, and that are come unto a people which thou knowest not heretofore. The tribes always knew of each other. Understand? The tribes always knew of each other. We always interacted with each other. When we had high holy days, all the tribes would come together. We are especially three times a year by commandments. Understand? Give me that scripture. 16:16. Is it Deuteronomy 16:16? Okay, 1 second. Deuteronomy 16:16, right? Come on.
Deuteronomy chapter 16 and verse 16. 3 times in a year shall all thy males appear before the Most High thy power, in the place which he shall choose, in the feast of unleavened bread, and in the feast of weeks, and in the feast of tabernacles, and they shall not appear before the Most High empty.
Right, so 3 times a year, at least the males of all the tribes should come together in one place to keep the commandments, the high holy days. And I'm pretty sure there are females who were acquainted with those high holy days also. So they were not strangers to each other. The tribes were not strangers to each other. But Naomi, but Ruth rather, a Moabite, this is strange to her. Understand? She was of another land that was outside of Israel, a land of Moab, and the land of her nativity, a land that she's a native to, which was the land of Moab, and had come unto a people which thou knowest not heretofore. Because other than before Naomi had gone to Moab, she had no knowledge personally of Israel. She had no interaction with any Israelite. She only heard about the Israelites when when Naomi and Boaz, her husband, no, I'm sorry, Elimelech went there and their two sons. And their two sons. Read.
Verse 12. The Lord recompense thy work, and a full reward be given thee of the most high power of Israel, under whose wing thou art come to trust.
See that? The Most High recompensed thy work. What does it mean to recompense? Pay back, give you your reward, your just reward for your work. You put in the work, so you get a reward for your work, a payback for your work. So the Most High recompense thy work, and the full reward be given unto thee of the Lord God of Israel. So the Most High is going to give her a full reward for what? For being so generous and so accommodative to Naomi and her husband and the two sons, under whose wings thou art come to trust. Under whose wings thou art come to trust. Because previously, she was not under the wings of the Most High. Why? Because she was of another nation. She was a heathen woman. And the gods of the other nations were what? Were idols. The other nations did not know of the Most High. The other nations knew of the idols which were made by the hands. But because of Naomi and her husband and the two sons, but because of Naomi and her husband and the two sons, Ruth was now aware of the Most High and now under the trust of the Most High. But previously, she had no knowledge of the Most High, because the nations round about Israel had no knowledge of the Most High, other than what they heard through so to speak, through the grapevine. Read on.
Ruth chapter 2 verse 13. Mm-hmm. Then she said, let me find favor in thy sight, my other one.
Right. So Ruth said, let me find favor in your sight. Read on.
For that thou hast comforted me, and for that thou hast spoken friendly unto thine handmaid, though I be not like unto one of thine handmaids.
Right, see? She said, no, let me find favor in your sight, for though you be kind to me, and they were spoken friendly to me, though I be not like unto one of thine handmaids, though I'm different from your handmaids. I'm of a different nationality, different heritage, different background, but you treated me as well as you treat your own people. Read on.
14. And Boaz said unto her, a mealtime come thou hither, and eat of the bread, and dip thy morsel in the vinegar. And she sat beside the reapers, and he reached her parched corn, and she did eat, and was sufficed, and left.
Right. And Boaz said unto her, at meantime come thou hither, and eat of the bread, and dip thy morsel in the vinegar. So Boaz said, when it's lunchtime, come over and have something to eat. And dip your morsel, dip your bread, eat the bread, and dip thy morsel in the vinegar. You know what I mean? Yeah, take a bite. And she sat beside the reapers. Read on.
And when she was risen up to glean, Boaz commanded his
read the last precept.
14. And Boaz said unto her, at mealtime come thou hither, and eat of the bread, and dip thy morsel in the vinegar. And she sat beside the reapers, and he reached her parched corn, and she did eat, and was sufficed, and left.
Right. So she ate. She reached her parched corn, and she did eat, and was satisfied, and she left. Read on. So she was full. She had a belly full. Read on.
And when she was risen up to glean, Boaz commanded his young men, saying, let her glean even among the sheaves, and reproach her not, and let fall also some of the handfuls of purpose for her, and leave them, that she may glean them, and rebuke her not.
Right. So Boaz instructed the young men that worked for him to let it, hey, let her work in peace. Don't bother her. Okay? And don't make things difficult for her. That she may glean them and rebuke her not. Read on.
So she gleaned in the field until eve, and beat out that she had gleaned, and it was about an ephah of barley. And she took it up and went into the city, and her mother-in-law saw that she had gleaned, and she brought forth and gave to her that she had reserved after she was sufficed.
Mm-hmm.
And her mother-in-law said unto her, Where hast thou gleaned today? And where wroughtest thou? Blessed be he that did take knowledge of thee. And she showed her mother-in-law with whom she had wrought, and said, The man named with whom I wrought today is Boaz.
Right. So she gleaned, she reaped the harvest along with the other men who worked for Boaz, along with the men or even the maidens who worked for Boaz, and then she took on the made the glean. The glean is what's left after the reap the harvest. You know what I mean? The glean is like the leftover. Don't glean. Glean is like when you reap the harvest, make sure you leave something left over for the poor, for the widows, and for the strangers. Understand? And that's what they did. So she got some for herself. What they got?
Glean, to extract, collect gradually and by bit.
Right. So gradually, bit by bit. So it's like it's like leftover. That's basically from reading the scriptures. That's what that is. And she took home some for herself, and so her mother-in-law named asked her, where did you glean today? She told me, the man's name with whom I wrought today is Boaz. Read on.
Verse 20. And Naomi said unto her daughter-in-law, Blessed be he of the Lord, who hath not left of his kindness to the living and to the dead.
And Naomi said unto her, so to her daughter-in-law, which is Ruth, Blessed be he of the Lord, which is Boaz, who hath not left of his kindness to the living and to the dead. So bless Boaz for being generous to the people. Read on.
And Naomi said unto her, The man is near of kin unto us, one of our next kinsmen.
So this man is near. So Naomi told her, the man is near of kin unto us, one of our next kinsmen, because remember that what? Boaz was related to Naomi's husband. Let's go back to what's our husband's name again? Is Elimelech? Is that what it is?
Maha and Shalamah?
No, Elimelech. That's
Naomi's husband.
Yeah, Elimelech. That's who Boaz was related to. So that's how Naomi was related to Boaz through her husband. So that's what she was telling Ruth. He's a near kinsman to us. Meaning what? He's related to me through my late husband. Read.
And Ruth the Moabitess said, He said unto me also, Thou shalt keep fast by my young men until they have ended all my harvest.
Right. So Ruth told Naomi the Moabite, and Ruth the Moabitess said, He said also unto me, Thou shalt keep fast by my young men until they have ended all my harvest. So make sure you're near to my these young men who are working for me until they're done working. So Boaz wanted to make sure that Ruth was around. Right?
Verse 22. And Naomi said unto Ruth, her daughter-in-law, It is good, my daughter, that thou go out with his maidens, that they meet thee not in any other field.
Right. So Naomi was glad that Ruth was working out. That we're glad that things were working out for Naomi for Ruth. He's glad. And Naomi said unto Ruth, her daughter-in-law, It is good, my daughter, that thou go out with his maidens, that you go out with Boaz's maidens, that thou meet not thee, that they meet thee not in any other field. Right, and not be in some place else working for some other people. I'm glad that you're working for my near kinsman Boaz instead of working in some other field. Read.
Verse 23. So she kept fast by the maidens of Boaz to glean unto the end of barley harvest and of wheat harvest, and dwelt with her mother-in-law.
Right, so that's where Ruth was all the time, working alongside the other maidens who worked for Boaz, and staying with her mother-in-law Ruth, or mother-in-law Naomi, rather. Chapter 3.
Chapter 3. Then Naomi, her mother-in-law, said unto her, My daughter, shall I not seek rest for thee, that it may be well with thee?
Right. Then Naomi, her mother-in-law, said unto her, My daughter, shall I not seek rest for thee, that it may be well with thee? What does she mean by that? I mean, shouldn't I look out for you? That thing's gonna work out for you? She didn't mean somebody to sleep. She mean I want to make sure things are working out for you. You're doing all right. You're comfortable. Because I know you looked out for me and my husband and my sons when I was in your land, but now that you're in my land, I want to return the favor. So I want to make sure that things are working out for you. Shouldn't I do that? Of course I'm going to do that. I got you. That's what Ruth, Naomi was saying to Ruth. Read on.
Verse 2. And now is not Boaz of our kindred, with whose maidens thou wast?
Right. And now is not Boaz of our kindred. Is not Boaz related to me through my late husband? And with whose maidens you had worked previously, you've been working? So right there, Naomi letting Ruth know, I'm gonna look out for you. I'm gonna try and hook you up. Make sure things are all right with you.
Right.
That's what's going on. That's the conversation. You can understand the context of what's going on right here, right now. Understand? Naomi is telling Ruth that I'm gonna look out for you and make sure things are all working all right for you. Because previously, remember when we were in the land of Moab, and Ruth didn't want to leave Naomi. Naomi said, I ain't got any more sons for you to marry. And I'm too old to have a husband to get any more children. And if I did have any more sons, how long would we hang around and wait for them to grow up? But now that I'm in the land of Israel, Naomi said, okay, I got you now. I'm going to look out for you. I see where I can provide for you, and I can make sure things are going well for you. Read on.
Verse 2 still. Ruth chapter 3 and verse 2. And now is not Boaz of our kindred, with whose maidens thou wast. Behold, he went now with barley tonight in the threshing floor.
Behold, he went with barley tonight in the threshing floor. So she let him know he's gonna be processing the barley tonight in the threshing floor. So Naomi is letting Ruth know where Boaz is gonna be, so she can be there too. So to make herself available, hopefully they can make a connection, a love connection. So she had to hook up, hook up Ruth with Boaz. Read on.
Wash thyself Therefore, and anoint thee, and put thy raiment upon thee, and get thee down to the floor, but make not thyself known unto the man until he shall have done eating and drinking.
Right. So she said, take a good bath, anoint yourself, put on some sweet perfume. You know what I mean? Prepare yourself, yeah. Make yourself attractive. Put on that raiment, put on some, sexy, glamorous, so to speak, you know what I mean? Make yourself attractive and beautiful. But don't make yourself available to him until he's contented. Until he got something to eat and drink, you know what I mean? I feel the mellow and all that. You had a good meal, probably sipping some wine. You know what I mean? He's in a, you know what I mean, an accommodative mood right now. Yeah. Because she's a grown woman, all right. Yeah, exactly. Put her on the game. Let him put you up to game. What's going, you know what I mean? So he can make a play at this brother. Put on some good, you know what I mean? A good bath and a perfume and all that. Put on some glamorous, attractive. Make sure you get something good to eat. You know what I mean? But now he's ready to socialize. Yeah, that's what's going on right there. I just wanted to visualize the scene. Read on.
Verse 4. And it shall be when he lieth down that thou shalt mark the place where he shall lie.
Right. Oh, okay. And it shall be when he lie down. Probably got by this time you got the itis. Yeah, something good to eat. Good one, you got the itis, no, he lie down now. So, and it shall be when he lie down that thou shalt mark the place where he shall lie. So make sure you notice where he's lying down, where he's gonna sleep. You're gonna relax, and make sure you're over there in his view.
Right.
Read on.
Verse 4. And it shall be when he lieth down that thou shalt mark the place where he shall lie, and thou shalt go in.
Yeah, and thou shalt go to the same place where he's at. Read.
And uncover his feet and lay thee down.
Right. So uncover his feet. Yeah. Now what is he saying? Get right next to him on a bed. All right. Now just move the sheet from over him and go right under the sheet right next to him. That's what Nehemiah is saying. Read on.
And he will tell thee what thou shalt do.
Right. So and then he make a move. He tell you what you should do. Read on.
Verse 5. And she said unto her, all that thou sayest unto me, I will do.
Right. So she said, whatever you say, mother-in-law, I'm going to do exactly what you tell me to do. Read on.
And she went down onto the floor and did according to all that her mother-in-law bade her. Mm-hmm. And when Boaz had eaten and drunk, and his heart was merry, and he went to lie down at the end of the heap of corn. Heap of corn, and she came softly and uncovered his feet and laid her down.
Right. So she did exactly, she followed instruction perfectly that Naomi gave her. Went down to where Boaz was, where Boaz had a good meal and a drink, and was laying down, and she uncovered his feet and went right next to him and laid her right next to him. Read on.
And it came to pass at midnight that the man was afraid and turned himself, and behold, a woman lay at his feet.
And it came to pass at midnight that the man was afraid and turned himself, and behold, a woman lay at his feet. He felt something, I mean, he felt her presence. I didn't know what it was, because he knew there wasn't anybody else beside him when he lay down. But now he felt her presence, and he wanted to know what it was. And when he looked around, there was Ruth right next to him. Read.
And he said, who art thou?
Who are you? Because I guess it was dark, and of course he seen her before, and he talked to her before, so he knew what she looked like. But at this point, right here, I guess it was dark, so he didn't. I wasn't able to get a good look at her to see who she was. So he asked her, "Who are you?" Right?
And she answered, I am Ruth, thine handmaid.
Mm-hmm.
Spread therefore thy skirt over thine handmaid, for thou art a near kinsman. And he
And he said, "Who art thou?" And she answered, "I am Ruth, thine handmaid. Spread therefore thy skirt over thine handmaid, for thou art a near kinsman." What does it mean that he was a near kinsman to her? For thou art a near kinsman. Was he actually related to her by blood? Was he actually a near kinsman to her? No. How was he a near kinsman to her? She was through Naomi. Exactly. Because if he was a near kinsman to her, more than likely, according to the Most High's laws, statutes, and commandments, she would not be able to it would be unlawful for her to be laying down next to him like that. If he was actually related to her by blood. Let's get Leviticus 18 and 6. Let's see the Most High's statutes and commandments regarding near kinsman.
This is the book of Leviticus, chapter 18 and verse 6. None of you shall approach to any that is near of kin to him to uncover their nakedness. I am the Most High.
Right. So according to the Most High's laws, statutes, and commandments, it is forbidden of us to approach unto anyone who was of a near kinsman unto us. Understand? So we can see right here that if she was a Hebrew Israelite, she would have been mindful of this is an era of the judges. This is hundreds of years after we came under Egypt with Moses. So we were well instructed of the laws of the Most High. Understand? This is after Moses. We were well after Joshua, after Samuel. We were well instructed of the laws. No, not after Samuel. We were well instructed of the laws of the Most High, which said what? Read it again, huh?
Leviticus chapter 18 verse 6. None of you shall approach to any that is near of kin to him to uncover their nakedness. I am the Most High.
Right. So if she was of near kinsman, meanwhile near relative to Boaz, it would be unlawful according to the Most High's laws, statutes, and commandments for her to be, in a situation where she's going to be possibly intimate with Boaz. Understand? So she was actually a near kinsman to him, not by blood, but by by relation. Not by blood, but by relation through Naomi. Okay, she was a near kinsman to Naomi, and according to the Most High's laws, a situation where if a brother is married to a wife, a woman, and the woman died, and the brother died, then his brother, by law, is supposed to marry that woman. If she didn't have any child for the brother before he died, the surviving brother, by law of the Most High, is supposed to marry her and rear up children in his brother's name by her. Okay, and so on and so on. And if there's no brother, then they get passed on to the next in line kinsman. Give me, I think Genesis. Let's get that in Genesis. We got it in Genesis. Book of Onan. With Judah, Onan, book of Onan. So Onan died. Here's that. Genesis 38. Okay. Hold on a second. Hold on a second. The 10 of 25. Let me see if I can get actual law on that. Actually, get me get a law. We stated by law. Deuteronomy 25, verse 5. But the Moses actually stipulated it by law. Because even though at the time in Genesis, we were not actually a full nation yet, but we were always aware of the Most High's laws, statutes, and commandments. But later on, when we became a nation in the wilderness, the Most High gave us the laws in writing, which is exactly what it did in the book of Deuteronomy, as outlined in chapter 25, verse 5. Deuteronomy 25, verse 5.
This is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 25 and verse 5.
Mm-hmm.
If brethren dwell together, and one of them die and have no child, the wife of the dead shall not marry without unto a stranger.
Right, see? If brethren dwell together, and one of them die and have no child, the wife of the dead brother shall not, the widow of the dead brother shall not marry without unto a stranger. The widow shall not marry a stranger. Read.
And
read again from
Salakia, Deuteronomy 25 and 5. If brethren dwell together, and one of them die and have no child, the wife of the dead shall not marry without unto a stranger. Her husband's brother shall go in unto her, and take her to him to wife, and perform the duty of an husband's brother unto her.
Right. So she can't go out and marry somebody else by law, according to the Most High's laws, statutes, and commandments in Israel. She was obligated to marry a widow's brother, who would act as on behalf of his brother, his deceased brother, and whatever child they have would be in the name of the deceased brother. That's the law of the Most High. Read.
And it shall be that the firstborn which she beareth shall succeed in the name of his brother which is dead. Salakia, verse 6. And it shall be that the firstborn which she beareth shall succeed in the name of his brother which is dead, that his name be not put out of Israel.
Right. So and it shall be that the firstborn which she beareth shall succeed in the name of his brother which is dead, that his name be not put out of Israel. So his name will be carried on in Israel. That's a law. And we can see, and then if what if he didn't have a brother? Then a close relative, a near kinsman, will perform the role of that brother. All right, let's go back to Ruth.
The book of Ruth,
chapter 3, verse 9.
Chapter 3, verse 9. And he said, Who art thou? And she said, I am Ruth, thy handmaid. Spread therefore thy skirt over thine handmaid, for thou art a near kinsman.
Right. So she said, I am. He asked her, Who are you? I am Ruth, thine handmaid, your servant. She didn't say, I'm Ruth, your cousin or your relative or whatever. Spread therefore thy skirt over thine handmaid, for thou art a near kinsman. A near kinsman, not to Ruth per se, but a near kinsman by relation through Naomi, through his is Elimelech, Naomi's ex-husband. Naomi's former husband. That's how she was a near kinsman. Okay. He was like yeah, right, because her son Ruth's husband had died and they didn't have any child. So now Boaz was in a position to perform that duty on behalf of Ruth's deceased husband. Read.
Verse 10.
That's how she was a near kinsman. Read on.
Verse 10. And he said, Blessed be thou of the Lord, my daughter, for thou hast showed more kindness in the latter end than at the beginning, inasmuch as thou followest not young men, whether poor or rich.
Right. And Boaz said unto her, Blessed be thou, my daughter, for thou hast shewed more kindness in the latter end than at the beginning, inasmuch as thou followest not young men, whether poor or rich. So Boaz was recognizing that Ruth was blessed in the Most High because, she could have gone up to somebody rich or poor, or some young dude, whatever, who had money, whether or somebody who was good looking or whatever to her. But she wanted to be, she wanted to be righteous because because of her love and the bonding that she had with Naomi. And Boaz was in recognition of that. Read on.
Verse 11. And now, my daughter, fear not. I will do to thee all that thou requirest. For all the city of my people doeth know that thou art a virtuous woman.
Right. So Boaz was saying, yeah, don't fear not. I'm going to do right by you. I'm going to give you all that you want. Because everyone is now well aware of you, that thou art a virtuous woman. Because Naomi has spoken well of you. And everyone has seen how you were diligent in the field. Or you were gleaning with reaping harvests alongside the young men and the maidens. And you work hard and diligent for your family. Read on.
And now it is true that I am thy near kinsman. Howbeit there is a kinsman nearer than I.
See that, but no, Boaz said, and now it is true that I am thy near kinsman. It's true that I'm related to Naomi's former husband. Howbeit there is a kinsman nearer than I. But so you can see it's according to the relation. But Boaz is saying there's a kinsman who's closer by blood than me. Read on.
Tarry this night, and it shall be in the morning that if he will perform unto thee the part of a kinsman, well.
Right. See, so you see right there. All this is in the context of what we just read in Deuteronomy 25:5. Read it again. Go back to Deuteronomy 25:5 so we can see that. Where that's talking about right here. Verse 13. Ruth 3 verse 13 is in is a context of Deuteronomy 25:5.
Deuteronomy chapter 25 and verse 5. Mm-hmm. If brethren dwell together and one of them die and have no child, the wife of the dead shall not marry without unto a stranger. Her husband's brother shall go in unto her and take her to him to wife and perform the duty of a husband's brother unto her.
Right. So that's a law in Israel that if a brother is married to a woman and that brother died, and there was no children in the relationship, then the deceased brother's surviving brother has to marry that woman, and the firstborn should be in the deceased brother's name to bear children. So the name of that dead brother should be carried on. So now go back to Ruth 3 verse 13.
The Ruth chapter 3 and verse 13. Tarry this night, and it shall be in the morning that if he will perform unto thee the part of a kinsman, well.
Right. So Boaz is telling Ruth, stay here tonight, and I will check upon that other kinsman and see if he's willing to perform that duty of a kinsman, like a brother will perform the duty of a kinsman when his brothers is dead. Read.
Verse 13. Tarry this night, and it shall be in the morning that if he will perform unto thee the part of a kinsman, well, let him do the kinsman's part.
Right. So if he's willing to do it, let him play that role. Hold on.
But if he will not do the part of a kinsman to thee, then will I do the part of a kinsman to thee, as the Most High liveth, lie down until the morning.
Right. So this man, so Boaz is being righteous. He said, there's another brother who's closer in the in the line as far as lineage. If he's willing to play the part, then so. If not, then I'll step up. But I'm not gonna jump the line. You know what I mean? Read on.
And she lay at his feet until the morning, and she rose up before one could know another. And he said, let it not be known that a woman came into the floor. Also he said, bring the veil that thou hast upon thee, and hold it. And when she held it, he measured 6 measures of barley and laid it on her. And she went into the city.
Right. So she lay there until the next morning, and then she left early. And she, Boaz is trying to be discreet about it. Don't let anyone know you were here. Okay? Bring the veil that thou hast upon thee and hold it. And when she held it, he measured 6 measures of barley and laid it up her. And she went into the city. So she had a veil on her. So she, she was discreet also. But he gave her some, she didn't leave empty-handed. He gave her a portion of a barley with her to take with her. Read on.
Verse 16. And when she came to her mother-in-law, she said, who art thou, my daughter? And she told her all that the man had done to her. And she says, these 6 measures of barley gave he.
Right. No, wait, verse 16. And when she came to her mother-in-law, she said, who art thou, my daughter? I mean, did she not know who her daughter was? But she said, who art thou?
Mm-hmm. Verse.
I guess she was asking about, how did it go? That's not we've asking, how did it go? Are you know his wife? Right. Yeah. Are you know his wife, or are you still, just a handmaid, or just an employee? Right. That's what she meant by that. Who art thou, my daughter? But my daughter, see, my daughter. So of course, that's what Ruth, her daughter, right? Her daughter-in-law. She meant, who art thou? I mean, what? Are you now his, what's his status now? What is her marital status now?
Right.
That's what she was asking her. Read.
Ruth chapter 3 verse 16. And when she came to her mother-in-law, she said, who art thou, my daughter? And she told her all that the man had done to her. Mm-hmm. And she said, these 6 measures of barley gave he me. For he said to me, go not empty unto thy mother-in-law. Then she said, sit still, my daughter, until thou know how the matter will fall. For the man will not be in rest until he have finished the thing this day.
Right. So she said, be patient. Just sit right here. Then we'll see how things gets played out. Because, he's not going to be contented until things are sorted out. So we know exactly what's going on, what's going to be, what your relation is going to be with him, whether he's going to play that role or the other kinsman is going to play that role. Okay, now we're in Ruth chapter 4.
Ruth chapter 4. Then went Boaz up to the gate, and he sat him down there. And behold, the kinsman of whom Boaz spake came by, unto whom he said, Hold such a one. Turn aside, sit down here. And he turned aside and sat down.
Right. Then went Boaz up to the gate and sat him down there. And behold, the kinsman of whom Boaz spake came by, unto whom he spake, Ho, such a one. Turn aside, sit down here. And he turned aside and sat down. So Boaz sent for the other kinsman who was closer as far as relation with respect to the role that was acquired, in the case where, a husband died without having a child, without having a child with his wife. So this other brother came by, and Boaz is now got to put him on as to what's going on. Read on.
And he took 10 men of the elders of the city and said, Sit ye down here. And they sat down.
So and he took 10 men of the elders of the city and said, Sit down here. And they sat down. So basically it was now like a council. And these 10 elders of the city was like, I'm going to be counselors, advisors, and also witness to the matter. Read on.
And he said unto the kinsman, Naomi that is come again out of the country of Moab, selleth a parcel of land, which was our brother Elimelech's.
Okay. So Moab, so Naomi, which is come out of the country of Moab, selleth a parcel of land, which was our brother Elimelech's. So the country of Moab, let me know it's a different land that Naomi is coming from. Read on.
And I ought to advertise thee, saying, Buy it before the inhabitants and before the elders of my people. If thou wilt redeem it, redeem it. But if thou wilt not redeem it, then tell me, that I may know. For there is none to redeem it beside thee, and I am after thee. And he said, I will redeem it.
Right. So there was a land that Naomi was in possession of. Through her former husband, or widow, she has the land and she want to sell it. So of course, the Most High, according to the Most High's law, the land has to remain within the tribe. Understand? The land cannot pass from one tribe to another. It can pass from one member of the tribe to another, but not from the outside. You cannot pass to someone of another tribe. Because each tribe was given a certain amount of land, understand, and that shall not diminish. Read on.
Verse 5. Then said Boaz, What day thou buyest the field of the hand of Naomi, thou must buy it also of Ruth the Moabitess, the wife of the dead, to raise.
Then said Boaz, What day thou buyest the field of the hand of Naomi, the day that you buy the land from Naomi, thou must buy it also of Ruth, the Moabitess. Read out, the wife of the dead. Read on.
To raise up the name of the dead upon his inheritance.
Right. To raise up the name of the dead upon his inheritance. So here it goes again, Deuteronomy 25:5. So the same day you buy the land from Naomi, which previously belonged to her husband, Elimelech, you also must buy the land from Ruth, which belonged to Ruth's husband, and raise up children unto Ruth's husband. Okay, so his name is not forgotten in Israel. Read.
Verse 6. And the kinsman said, I cannot redeem it for myself.
Now the kinsman is backing out. See, he was willing to buy the land from Naomi, right? You see, I'd buy that. But now Boaz is saying you got to also buy the land from Ruth, and also not only buy the land, she comes with the land. You got to raise up children unto her husband or deceased husband. Understand? According to the Most High's laws, statutes, and commandments depicted in documented in Deuteronomy 25:5. But now the kinsman is saying, I cannot redeem it for myself. I can't do that, man. That's what he's saying right now. Read on.
Verse 6. And the kinsman said, I cannot redeem it for myself, lest I mar my own inheritance.
Right. So if I do that, now I'm going to mar my own inheritance. So he's like, that's going to tarnish his inheritance. It's going to be like a conflict right there between his children and the children of the deceased, and with the land and all that. He didn't want to. That's too much of an hassle for him. That it was kind of inconvenient for him. It wasn't a problem when he was buying the land from Naomi. But now that you got to buy the land from Ruth, not only did he have to buy the land from Ruth, he has to wife up Ruth and have children with Ruth, which a firstborn was not going to be his, but was going to be for Ruth's deceased husband. And that to him that was that confusion and a conflict, right there. And he didn't want to be bothered with that. So he was about to, you could see it's about to pass on that. Read on.
Redeem thou my right to thyself, for I cannot redeem it.
Right. So he went and said, okay, bro, you take this, man. I'm going to pass on this. Redeem my right. I got the right to do it, but I'm going to yield to you. That's what he's saying. Read on.
Verse 7. Now this was the manner in former time in Israel concerning redeeming and concerning changing, for to confirm all things. A man plucked off his shoe and gave it to his neighbor, and this was the testimony in Israel. Therefore the kinsman said unto Boaz, buy it for thee. So he drew off his shoe.
Right. So go back to Deuteronomy 25:5. Let me see what that says. Further down from the next verse.
Want me to start at 6 or 7?
Read 5 and read on. Read from 5 and read on. Yeah.
Deuteronomy chapter 25:5. If brethren dwell together and one of them die and have no child, the wife of the dead shall not marry without unto a stranger. Mm-hmm. Her husband's brother shall go in unto her, mm-hmm, and take her to wife. Take him and take her to him to wife.
Right.
And perform the duty of an husband's brother unto her. Mm-hmm. And it shall be that the firstborn which she beareth shall succeed in the name of his brother which is dead, mm-hmm, that his name be not put out of Israel. And if the man like not to his brother's wife, then let his brother's wife go up to the gate of the elders and say, my husband brother refuses to raise up unto his brother a name in Israel. He will not perform the duty of my husband's brother. Then the elders of the city shall call him and speak unto him. And if he stand to it and say, I like not to take her, then shall his brother wife come unto him in the presence of the elders and loose his shoe from off his foot and spit in his face, and shall answer and say, so shall it be done unto the man that will not build up his brother's house, and his name shall be called in Israel the house of him that have his shoe loose.
So this law was about that was a part of loosening the shoe from off his feet was part of the terms if someone refused to play that role. So go back to Ruth now. Read 4 and 7 again.
Ruth chapter 4, verse 7. Now this was the manner in former time in Israel concerning redeeming and concerning changing. For to confirm all things, a man plucked off his shoe and gave it to his neighbor. And this was a testimony in Israel. Therefore the kinsman said unto Boaz, buy it for thee. So he drew off his shoe.
Right. So the kinsman said unto Boaz, buy it for thee. So he yielded his right to do that. So he yielded his right to Boaz. Okay, you can buy the land. I'm not, you know what I mean? I'm gonna pass on this. That's what he was telling Boaz. Read on.
And Boaz said unto the elders, to all the people, ye are witnesses this day that I have brought all that was.
Read it again.
Verse 9. And Boaz said unto the elders and unto all the people, ye are witnesses this day that I have brought all.
I have bought.
That I have bought all that was Elimelech's.
Right. So Boaz bought all that belonged previously to Amalek.
And all that was Shalion's and Mahlon's out
of the hand
of Naomi.
Right. So anything that previously belonged to Amalek and his sons, Chilion and Mahlon, Boaz bought. So right. So the lands changed position from Naomi and her late husband and late sons, and now but remain in the tribe. In possession of Boaz. Hold on.
Verse 10. Moreover, Ruth the Moabitess, the wife of Mahlon, have I purchased to be my wife, to raise up the name of the dead upon his inheritance, that the name of the dead be not cut off from among his brethren, and from the gate of his place. Ye are witnesses this day.
Moreover, Ruth the Moabitess, the wife of Mahlon, have I purchased to be my wife, to raise up the name of the dead upon his inheritance, that the name of the dead be not cut off from among his brethren, and from the gate of his place. Ye are witness this day. So he was saying also, I'm gonna play that role according to the laws of the Most High. Read on. We are to assume the role of a husband in a case where her previous husband, which was a brother or a close kinsman, had died. Read on.
And all the people that were in the gates and the elders said, we are witnesses. The Lord make the woman that is come into thine house like Rachel and Leah, which two did build the house of Israel, and do thou worthily in Ephratah, and be famous in Bethlehem, and let thy house be like the house of Perez, whom Tamar bare unto Judah, of the seed which the Lord shall give thee of this young woman. So Boaz took Ruth, and she was his wife. And when he went, so Boaz took, verse 13, so Boaz took Ruth, and she was his wife. And when he went in unto her, the Lord gave her conception, and she bare a son. And when the woman said unto Naomi, blessed be the Lord, which hath not left thee this day without a kinsman, that his name may be famous in Israel.
Right. And the woman said unto Naomi, blessed be the Most High, which hath not left thee this day without a kinsman, that his name may be famous in Israel. So they were blessing Naomi. They would congratulate Naomi because the Most High has blessed her now with with a son, a kinsman, because the kinsman was now this child was now as if was being raised up as Ruth's previous husband's child. according to the law of the Most High. Right? What was his name again? That's what. It doesn't matter what I was.
What, Ruth's husband?
Yeah.
Milan.
Malan. Okay. Right. Malan. So this child that Ruth had for Boaz was actually going to be attributed to Malan. Okay, he's going to be raised up in Israel as if it was Malan's child, according to the laws of the Most High in Deuteronomy 25:5. Right, read on.
Chapter 4, verse 15. And he shall be unto thee a restorer of thy life, a nourisher of thine old age, for thy daughter-in-law, which loveth thee, which is better to thee than 7 sons, hath borne him.
Right.
And Naomi took the child and laid it in her bosom, and became nurse unto it. And the woman, her neighbors, gave it a name, saying, There is a son born to Naomi, and they call his name Obed. He is the father of Jesse, the father of David.
Right. So that's who this is. But don't forget though, he's not a Moabite. A lot of people are saying, "Hey, David is a Moabite." You know, simplicity. This David's father was a Moabite. Jesse, who was David's father, was a Moabite. No, remember the lineage is counted according to the father, right? Understand? So this child that Ruth had with Boaz was came from Boaz's loins, but was assigned to Malan. Okay. Okay, and his name was what? Obed, who was the father of Jesse, the father of David. I read on.
The book of Ruth, chapter 4 and verse 18. This is the book of Ruth, chapter 4 and verse 18. Now these are the generations of Perez. Perez begot Hezron.
Oh, now let's see who Perez is now. Was it jump into Perez? Where was it in the previous mention of Perez?
Verse 12, 4 and 12.
4 and 12 was Perez. And let thy house be like the house of Perez, whom Tamar bare unto Judah. Okay, whom Tamar bare unto Judah. Right. So this is right. This is the lineage from which the son Obed is coming from. Right. Now these are the generation of Perez. Right. Perez begot Hezron. Read on.
Verse 18. Now these are the generation of Perez. Perez begot Hezron.
Right.
And Hezron begot Ram.
Right.
And Ram begot Amminadab. And Amminadab begot Nahshon. And Nahshon begot Salmon. And Salmon begot Boaz. And Boaz begot Obed. And Obed begot Jesse. And Jesse begot David.
Right. So it's a lineage right there. We know what David going on with David. You know what I'm saying? It's a lineage. This is a lineage from which Yahushua came. Understand? But of course that's gonna be outlined further on. So that concludes right there the book of Ruth. So we can see from this these 4 chapters. It's a small book. The controversy or debate or misunderstanding as to the nationality of Ruth, is cleared up based on what we see right here. Ruth was a Moabite woman from the land of Moab. Understand? And we can see from the map right there, Moab is the southeast or directly east, or just east of Judah. Understand? It's not far away, just east of the Dead Sea. That's where Naomi and her husband and their 2 sons had gone to escape from the famine that was in Judah. and her husband, Naomi's husband, and the two sons died. Ruth, the Moabitess woman, after 10 years, went back with Naomi to Bethlehem, Judah. Understand? Where things are, where the Mosai had blessed the land again with abundance of crops. And there, Ruth found favor with Boaz, which was a kinsman to Naomi's husband, Elimelech. Okay, and and it happened that Boaz was in agreement to play the role to marry Ruth to buy the land that belonged to Naomi's husband and sons, and also to marry Ruth. Okay, and agreed to have their firstborn son brought up as Ruth's grandson, son-in-law, Marlon's son, as per the commandment, Deuteronomy 25:5. Okay, that's where that is, and this from this lineage, David came from this lineage. Understand? And we all know from understanding the scriptures further on, which we go into another time, that the Yahushai came from the same lineage. Understand? And these men were what? Of the tribe of Judah. Understand? Of the nation of Israel. And also, but Ruth herself was of another nation, the nation of Moab. Okay? And with that, I'm going to say that's going to conclude today's lesson by Shomash Kawashai, and Tawara by Shomash Kawashai to everyone logging on online, and the conference calls and so on. And don't forget, tomorrow, the most I will, 11 o'clock a.m., we're going to have the Hebrew class. And at 12 o'clock, we're going to have the Sabbath service. Okay, we are located on Fort Lauderdale, 2937 West Broward Boulevard. We are the Light of Zion. But then we're going to say Shalom, Yashualam, and Madian Wapanya, Yerushalayim, son of Jerusalem. Psalms 133. Shayar, Hama Ilwath, Ladawad, Hana, Ma, Tawab, Wama, Naayam, Shabath, Akyam, Gam, Yakar, Kashaman, Atawab, Il, Araash, Yarad, Il, Azakwan, Zakwan, Ha'aran, Shayarad, Il, Paya, Madawath Yawa, Katal, Karamwan, Shayarad, Il, Araria, Tazayawan, Kaya, Sham, Tazawa, Yahawa, Ath, Habaraka, Kayawam, Id, Ha'awalam, Bahasham, Hamashiach, Yahushai, the water, Aman.
This is the book of Psalms, chapter 133. Behold, how good and how pleasant it is for brethren to dwell together in unity. It is like the precious ointment upon the head that ran down upon the beard, even Aaron's beard, that went down to the skirts of his garments, as the dew of Hermon, and as the dew that descended upon the mountains of Zion. For there the Most High commanded the blessings, even life forevermore. Bahashem, Amashiach Yahushai, the water Tumyad, Amun. Hallelujah. General, show up.